Do you want to get your new BOXER dog to be able to walk perfectly to heel? Do you want a dog that will walk on a nice loose lead on your left-hand side, constantly looking up to you for guidance and direction because you're such a high-level canine leader? Well then don't worry, because that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Welcome back to the Fenrir Boxer Show. If you are new here, my name's Will, I'm a canine behaviourist, and this channel is dedicated to teaching you everything you could ever possibly want to know about the incredible boxer dog, and then how to become high-level canine leaders that raise perfect boxer companions. So if you're just starting out with your new boxer, or you're a lifelong boxer lover, I promise you this channel is going to be for you. So start by hitting that subscribe button, turning on that notification bell so that you never miss a future boxer video. So let's dive into today's topic, and today's topic is around teaching your new boxer puppy to walk nicely to heel. Get it right first time round, and get it right perfectly first time round. As a canine behaviourist, one of the most common problem behaviours that people come to me with their dogs, and in particular with boxer dogs, is that they walk really badly. They're really difficult to walk. They pull on a lead. They're really reactive towards other dogs or cars or bikes, and it turns what should be a really pleasant, lovely experience of going for a walk with your dog into something that is kind of miserable and the worst part of your day. And then people start to not want to walk their dogs as much, which means they're not getting as much exercise, which means a raft of other behaviour problems quickly set in, and then it's the quickest slippery slope down to a very poorly behaved boxer companion dog. So how do we go about doing that? Now, what I like to do is, although as a behaviourist we can help people with those problems, but it's a difficult thing to help people with. It requires quite complex behaviour modification and quite high level training to be able to unpick those badly, negatively established habits and start afresh with new ones. And it can cost a lot of money. So what I like to do, and what this channel is dedicated to, is helping people get it right first time round, because it will save you a fortune in professional help like myself. It's probably quite bad business, but I'd rather you get it right first time round, and that's the best thing for your dog, because then that dog probably won't end up in a shelter and then unfortunately euthanized, because that's why we do what we do here at Fenrir, is to help you become a high-level canine leader, get it right first time round, and then have a perfect canine companion so it doesn't go to a shelter and it doesn't get put down. So what we do is we go through our Perfect Puppy program. If you're interested in that, by the way, the link's in the description box below. But part of my Perfect Puppy program, I have 5 areas of mandatory basic obedience that I think that all dog owners should have with all of their dogs. One of them being heel walking. Now, to teach your new puppy to walk to heel from day one is actually quite a straightforward process. It's quite a simple concept, but it does just require a little bit of dedication, hard work and effort, but we'll talk about that more later towards the end of the video. But the actual process and how we go about it, we break it down into kind of 4 steps. Again, the Perfect Puppy program's there if you want the kind of really detailed process of how we get perfect canine companions. But in terms of heel walking, we break it down into 4 steps. Those 4 steps are, the first one being is that we need to teach the dog, the new boxer puppy, that we want you on our left-hand side, and that the word heel, or whatever term you want to use, means be on my left-hand side and look up to me for guidance and direction. Dead straightforward. To achieve that, we use lure, mark, reinforce. We use a nice food lure, like a nice piece of meat. It smells lovely. We get it in front of the dog's nose. We lure them into the left-hand side. When they're at that left-hand side, we mark it with heel and we give them access to the food reward. We drill that over and over and over again, and very quickly the dog will start to understand the concept of the term heel means be on my left-hand side because something good is about to happen. Once we achieve that through drilling and practice and dedication, congratulations, you have just taught your dog the principle, the foundation block of walking nicely to heel. But just because we've done that doesn't mean that you can now go and walk through the busiest city in the world and not expect them to get distracted and fail. We need to slowly build up to that. So then the next stage is around, okay, you now know that heel means be on my left. What I want you to know now is that regardless of whether I'm stood still or moving, changing direction, I still want you on my left-hand side. So we're going to do it in a low distraction environment still, and we're going to add in some turns on the spot, 90 degrees, 180, 270, 360 degree turns, clockwise, anti-clockwise. We're going to constantly mix it up and make it a really fun game. We're going to add in some steps. So we might go 2 steps forward. We might then take a clockwise 90 degree turn, 4 steps forward, 180 degree turn, come back on ourselves with 6 steps, and we're constantly learning luring the dog, marking it with heel, and reinforcing and praising. And again, we turn it into this really fun, positive, exciting game with our dogs that not only is teaching them the principles of walking to heel, but it's also building that relationship with you and your dog. It's improving the communication between you and your dog, and it's allowing you to be a good high-level leader, and the dog needs to look up to you for guidance and direction. So we do that over and over again. That's kind of step 2. Then we move into adding the lead. So we've done all of this without a lead. Might sound strange, but yeah, we need to let the dog know that this is what we want, regardless of whether there's a lead on or not. Now at that stage, when you know what heel means, and now we're going to add the lead into it, and we're going to carry on doing that drill with a lead. And we want the dog to form that association over repetitions, over drills, that this lead and heel are the same thing. They start separately, but through drilling and repetitions, they meet, and eventually we get to the stage where it's the same thing. When that lead goes on, it means that we are heeling. It means that I want you on my left hand side, no matter where we're going or what we're doing. Once we get to that stage, we move on to the next step, which is about layering up the distraction levels, layering up the time and the distance, removing the markers, removing the reinforcement. We don't have relationships with our dogs where we bribe them into doing things. We help use food rewards and a positive approach to teach them something new, to help them learn. But once we know that they've learned it, we slowly start to remove the markers and the praise and reinforcement, because at that stage we want them to do it for us because of the relationship that we've built. These obedience sections are only one small part of what it takes to be a high level leader and have a perfect canine companion. It's all these other areas that feed into it, and it's that tiny little bit in the middle, that where everything merges, is where we have a perfect canine companion. And that is what our Perfect Puppy course is dedicated to helping you achieve. Now, once we get to that stage, so we've been doing it in a low distraction environment, we now go outside, a low distraction environment outside in your garden, maybe then to a park where there's no distractions. Then maybe we go to a park where there's dogs, but the dogs are on the other side of the park. Then we slowly get a little bit closer. We start on some very quiet roads with no people and no traffic. Then we start to go to more busy roads, and slowly, patiently, consistently, we start to level that up, setting our dog up for success, and then praising, rewarding, and reinforcing that success. We do that consistently, day by day, week by week, and then month by month. You will have a boxer that will work beautifully to heel from scratch, from the second you bring it home, throughout the rest of its life. And that is the essence of how to do it as quickly, as efficiently, as pain-free as possible, and as cheaply as possible. So, even with that said, there is a few common places where people will trip up and make mistakes. The first one being around creating the wrong association to the lead. Now, as part of my Perfect Puppy program, we only ever use the lead that we're going to walk our dogs on at first from day one with our Fenrir basic obedience drill, just to get them used to the concept of having a lead come on and off, that it's a fine experience, it's nothing to be scared of, and we need to remain calm and well-mannered. We don't get all excitable when we get the lead out, but it just goes on. It's super cool. We remain calm, and you look up to me for guidance and direction. We do that as part of our obedience drill, and then we don't use that lead until we get to the stage where we're now adding it as part of our heel work, because again, we want the two things to be one. We want lead goes on, that means heel. Come to my left hand side, because we're about to go on an adventure, we're about to move, we're about to do something as a team. That's the association that we want. What you don't want to do is bring your dog home, put it on a lead while you're exercising it, or while it's in the house, and it's running around and it's bouncing off the end of the lead and going where it wants and doing what it wants. And it creates that association with the lead that it can do what it wants when it wants. We're not going to do that. We're not going to mix up that communication. We're going to save that lead till we know we can add it to the dog when it understands heel, and we can create that 100% success rate that this lead means be on my left-hand side, please, and you stay there until I tell you otherwise. 100% of the time, and we can enforce that if we're proactive and preemptive and set our dog up for success with it. Now, the problem there is that we need to ensure that our dogs are safe no matter where we go or what we're doing. So what I'm not saying is don't ever have your dog on a lead while you're exercising or while you're out socializing. But what I want to do is save the lead that you're going to use for heel walking for only that drill. Now, if we're out exercising our dog on a park, or you're in the garden or somebody else's garden, or we're socializing them, If we're socializing them, we can carry them until they've had their injections. We can have them on a lead, but don't walk with them. Get out your car, and we're socializing them to the roads. We're going to stand. You're going to have the dog on your left-hand side. Ideally, as part of our other obedience work, we can use a sit and stay. So we'll put them into a sit and stay. And that's still enforcing that when you're on a lead, you're on my left-hand side. If we're out exercising and we want them to run and play, but we can't guarantee their safety, instead of putting them on a lead or an extendable lead, get a really lightweight long line or a bit of paracord that we can tie onto the collar, drop it on the floor, and let them run. They'll very quickly forget that it's even there. They have the free roam that we want them to have. They're exercising, they're playing, socializing with other dogs. But in any of those God forbid situations where they might be at risk, we can quickly pick it up off the floor and reel them back into safety, and we can ensure their safety. So never put your dog in harm's way, but try and save that lead for 100% association of that. This means on my left-hand side, lead, heel are the same thing. The next common place that people have difficulties is around lack of patience and setting their dog up for failure rather than setting them up for success. To be a high-level canine leader, to be a high-level leader no matter what we're doing, there's certain characteristics that are imperative. A good leader is consistent, they're calm, they're well-mannered, they're relaxed under pressure, they're dedicated, they're hard-working, they're persistent. All of those areas are mandatory when it comes to being a high-level canine leader with our dogs. So if you're a little bit lazy, you're inconsistent, you're a little bit flaky, you work a bit hard on heel work one day and then you forget about it for a week and then come back to it, don't expect to achieve any levels of success. If you want to achieve success, the principle and the theory of how we go about it is very straightforward. What makes it challenging and where most people go wrong is that it requires high levels of hard work, consistency, dedication, persistence. If you go into this process, if you go into this journey with that mindset, I promise you, you will be a better canine leader than 99.9% of the people out there, just from mindset. Keep researching, keep watching these videos, learn everything there is to learn. Go and check out our Perfect Puppy program, absorb all of that information, attach that to the characteristics of a good leader, and I promise you, you will achieve incredibly high levels of success with your new puppy. So I hope that helped. I hope that you got a lot from it and those bits that you could take from it to allow you to go on your journey and push and move towards success. I really do hope that. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. We've got 2 videos coming to this channel every single week. So I promise you, if you love this incredible breed, then this is the channel for you. And I can't wait to see you on the next video.